Hi, I'm here to talk to you about Rose. Rose essential oil. This one's from Neal's Yard. I also sell one from doTERRA. I buy it from Neal's Yard because I can buy it at 2.5 ml for around £48. If I buy it from doTERRA, I'm talking £230, but it's totally worth it because rose oil is very, very special. And there's lots of reasons I'm going to try and take you through. I've got 4 pages of notes here and I'm just going to try and work through them. So first of all, to what am I referring? Because there's a lot of things out there masquerading as rose oil, which aren't rose oil. Not the rose oil we're talking about here, which is the therapeutic grade oil. So the plant itself is Rosa X damascena from the Rosacea family. And what we know her as is damask rose, or rose otto, or Rosa bulgarian. In fact, doTERRA get their rose oil directly from Bulgaria, which is one of the main growing points available in the world today, although you can get it in other countries, the Middle East, Morocco, etc. This particular one that we use was actually originated in Central Asia as a hybrid of Rosa moschata and Rosa gallicia and the pollen of Rosa fedchisciona. Yes, bit of a mouthful. So that's for all you rose enthusiasts out there. It was named Rose Damascus after Damascus in Syria, where in the 13th century this was kind of the hub for distillation of rose. In terms of what it looks like, you're looking at a semi-viscous pale yellow fluid, and she's sticky and she can take a while to come out, slightly sticky. She's got an intense rosy sweet floral odour with sweet honey notes and a very faint spicy and fruity overtone, very, very faint. But you can really kind of sense that when you diffuse her. That's when you can really value the kind of different tones to her. She's got, as a perfume, we regard her as a heart note of extremely high intensity and fair persistence. So she's used in very high quality perfumes and cosmetics in tiny amounts. In terms of extracting her, this is a distillation process, generally by hot water and steam. She goes through a few processes though, because after she's been taken through that process once, there is a second distillation and sometimes a third, and all of them are added together to make the oil, because as I said, very low yield. Typically May to June are when the flowers are picked, and when they're picked, they have to be picked before the sun is high in the sky. They have to be picked with a kind of dewiness over them and by hand, very long, lengthy process, and they have to be distilled within 24 hours of being picked. So really labour intensive there. Hoping this is helping you to kind of build value. In terms of yield, we're talking 3,000 to 5,500 kilograms to produce 1 kilogram. In kind of sense for us, we're talking at about kind of 10,000 blossoms for 5 ml of essential oil. So that's why we're talking really pricey. I use Neal's Yard. I can get 2.5 ml for £48. doTERRA sell 5 ml for £230. I'm working up to that. That's what I really want. So she's expensive and people are always surprised about that. And that means the chances of her adulteration are really high with natural and synthetic compounds. So historically, what they would have done to stretch her scent was add sandalwood and palmarosa, geranium, hoe wood and lemon. But what you also have these days, unfortunately, is entirely synthetic oils that are available. So you just got to know that. Rose Absolute is an adulteration with palmarosa, clove bud, and Peru balsam. So just be aware that, you get what you pay for with rose. And I'd say on the safety precaution side of things, if you're using anything less than what is pure, the risk, especially on your skin, the risk of side effects are extremely high. So it's not one you want to mess around with. In terms of mental well-being, I've got 4 pages of notes. What we've got Rose down for, and I can absolutely hand on heart say she's done this for me: emotional deprivation, injury, discouragement, sorrow, low self-esteem, insecurity, emotional disconnection, suicidal thoughts, mood swings, anxiety, fear of the unknown, depression and anxiety or agitation, shameful feelings, jealousy, restless sleep, embitterment, nightmares, emotional, mental and physical exhaustion, long or irregular menstrual cycles, scanty or flooding menstruation even, PMS, sexual disinterest, vagina irritation or dryness, and the inability to change when you become too rigid. So what she does is she deeply calms the hyperfunctioning of our limbic system. So she really potinates our parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest, relax, digestive system. So caution note in that, if you're someone with kind of hypertension or hypertonic weak conditions like chronic fatigue, etc., don't go anywhere near Rose, because you basically don't want to encourage any more of that dialing down. You'll be asleep for the rest of your life. In terms of fragrance category, we're talking middle tone with sweet notes. In terms of what we could use for physiological disorders, we'd be using Rose for addictions. So addictive disorders, food addictions, codependency, bipolar, minor depression. In terms of her therapeutic status, she's a mild remedy with no cumulative toxicity. Topically, she's non-irritant and non-sensitizing, but remember that's the rose essential oil that is rose damask, the true unadulterated version of. In terms of body systems, we would say that she influences neuroendocrine, reproductive, cardiovascular, and digestive systems. In terms of physical well-being, she's really great for anybody that's got imbalanced hormones or imbalanced reproductive system. She's great for progesteronic and estrogenic deficiency, PMS, dysmenorrhea, amenorrhea, so missing periods, scanty periods, menopause, postpartum depression, post-hysterectomy syndrome, infertility, incompetent sperm, low sperm count, frigidity and impotence. She's a nervous system relaxant, which I've already kind of talked about. So she's a cerebral sedative, so calms down your mind. She's great for stress, especially in women, stress and insomnia, anxiety, palpitations, that goes for men as well. Pain, headaches and migraines. So if you're someone that suffers from those, then Rose is something to try. She's also great for fevers, so that could be hot flushes, hot spells, bring your temperature down, but again, like essential oils, they make you feel cooler without compromising what your immune system is trying to do by having a raised temperature. Vasodilator, so basically, and really good at calming seizures, so she basically is going to open up your airways, so really good for people with asthma. She's also a liver stimulant, so really good for anybody that needs a liver detox, decongested, anyone with bile production issues, so gallbladder, anything like that, that's what you want. Any toxicosis headaches, metabolic toxicosis, any problems around that area, basically. Pelvic and uterine decongestant, so any kind of blockages going on down there, absolutely fantastic. Really good for bleeding and hemorrhaging in general, stopping that is. In terms of cancer, fabulous antioxidant and anti-tumorial, stops tumours growing. Moderate antibacterial action, so good if you've got a sore throat like E. coli, colitis, bronchitis, laryngitis, cystitis, lung TB, that kind of thing. If you're using her in skincare, which is what I need to do because it's for mature skin and also dry skin, she's really good as an emollient to help with dry, dehydrated, irritated or inflamed skin. So whether that be because you've got acne, because you're young and you're a teenager, or whether you've got irritated skin or rosacea, anything like that. Broken capillaries, she's a skin regenerator, she's a capillary stimulant. So I do that because that's where I keep all my broken capillaries. Wrinkles, stretch marks after pregnancy. Wish I'd known that 11 years ago. Vulnerary, she's great for wound care because she's anti-inflammatory, astringent, antiseptic, wounds, ulcers, sores, mouth ulcers, sprains, strains, herpes, shingles, gingivitis, acne. I mean, is there anywhere you can't put this stuff? But as I said, you've got to be really careful about using it if you already have hypertonic conditions. In terms of how to use her, you can diffuse her 1 or 2 drops. She's a heavy oil. Remember, she hangs around. Massage is 1 to 2% ratios, this is, into vegetable oil. Liniment is 2 to 4%, so you don't go up very much. You don't need a lot of her in your skincare. Creams. Vaginal sponge is 1.5, and that's because you don't need very much down there. And then a gel cap is 1 drop with some olive oil if you wish to take her internally for some of that antimicrobial action. So there we have it, rose oil. She smells divine, she is divine. She's regularly ripped off. You get what you pay for. I mean, £230. I mean, what is that for all of that therapeutic action and to smell amazing, to smell her, to feel amazing? I think it's cheap at half the price, quite frankly, but then I would say that. Anyway, so if you want some, get back to me and I will order you some. Or if you want to come around and smell mine, you're very welcome to. Just book a session. And I wish you well. You now know about Rose.